Hi everyone, I'm Imogen from Course Report. We are a resource for researching which coding bootcamp is right for you. We have a directory of different coding schools, a podcast channel, and a blog featuring interviews with founders, instructors, and students, all to help you work out which bootcamp you want to go to. Today, I'm speaking with Justin Driscoll, who is the campus director for Tech Elevator's new campus in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Justin has a background working with the Pittsburgh Tech Council and is going to tell us all about the thriving Pittsburgh tech scene and the sorts of jobs that coding bootcamps can get in Pittsburgh. So Justin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today.
Can you start by telling us about your background and how you got involved with Tech Elevator?
So I got to know Tech Elevator in my previous role as the head of talent acquisition and talent development at the Pittsburgh Technology Council. And so I spent almost 15 years at the Tech Council working with the technology community around Pittsburgh and companies large and small and helping them with their workforce and talent needs. And so it was a natural evolution really to land this role as the campus director for Tech Elevator here in Pittsburgh. And so I met the CEO of Tech Elevator, Anthony Hughes, through a normal member outreach activity in my role at the Tech Council, and got to know Anthony. And over the next couple of months, spent some time chatting with him and some others on the team, and started at the end of February here at Tech Elevator.
That's awesome. And so I'm interested because I know Tech Elevator already has established campuses in Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati. And I'm wondering why Pittsburgh is a great place for Tech Elevator's latest campus.
Well, very much like the other campuses around the state of Ohio, here in Pittsburgh, we have a large need for software developers. According to Burning Glass in 2017, there were around 6,500 computer science related, IT related positions posted in the Pittsburgh market, 6,500. There were only around between 600 and 700 total computer science graduates from regional universities. The bulk of those graduates coming from the University of Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon, as you might guess. And so the need for software developers is just great. And so companies are looking at alternative education options and alternative ways of finding qualified talent to fill that need. And Tech Elevator really provides that, one of the best alternative options for companies and for people looking to get in to computer science and programming related jobs. We provide a great alternative for that. And so that's why Pittsburgh, in all of the markets we look at, Tech Elevator is a Midwest focused boot camp organization. And so all of the markets we look at are all in those areas where there's such a great disparity between number of jobs posted and computer science graduates.
That makes a lot of sense. And I'm interested to hear a bit more about the tech scene in Pittsburgh. Are you able to tell me a bit about the types of tech companies operating there?
Yeah, Pittsburgh is very well known and has historically been known for its heavy manufacturing presence, steel and glass and plastics and so on and so forth. And now we're known for things like self-driving cars and robotics and big data and artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. And so as Pittsburgh has really gone through its third renaissance, as we would say here locally, as the renaissance continues now in tech and information jobs, we're seeing a great need in the tech sector from companies of all backgrounds. So financial services is really big here in Pittsburgh. Large institutions like PNC Bank and Bank of New York Mellon and Federated Investors and many, many others have huge IT staffs and are all adopting software and big data and really giving more technology options to their customers. And so they need programmers to do that. Healthcare, we have two large healthcare systems here in Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center and Highmark. And both of those institutions are incredibly tech driven. And so they hire a lot of developers. And then, of course, you have Google and Uber, even Amazon has 125 people, 150 people and growing here in Pittsburgh. And so the big name tech firms are here, maybe as smaller offices. Some are considering larger offices. I think Google has around 500 or 600. Uber has 500 or 600 people here, and it really continues to grow. And so Pittsburgh's tech scene is really exciting and continuing to evolve all the time.
Wow, I didn't realize there were so many big names there. That's amazing. And I'm interested in why you think that shift towards tech has happened. Why are all these big companies in Pittsburgh?
I think there are a number of reasons. We have great access to talent here in Pittsburgh. We have 40 regional universities around Southwest Pennsylvania. I mean, Carnegie Mellon University's reputation cannot be undermined here. It cannot be minimized, I should say. I mean, the reputation that CMU has around the world has really, really helped Pittsburgh. Secondarily, the University of Pittsburgh as well has a great reputation and has really helped Pittsburgh. And so the access to talent is a major portion of that. The low cost of living compared to the coasts, if you look at what it costs to purchase a home in San Francisco compared to what it costs to purchase a home in Pittsburgh, the numbers are just staggering. The same with New York. And so low cost of living, access to talent. Pittsburgh is really just a bunch of neighborhoods all put together. And so a lot of people really enjoy the characteristics that each different neighborhoods have. And you can live in one part of Pittsburgh and feel like you're in a totally different place than another part of Pittsburgh. So it's certainly not for the weather, as it's snowing outside today in the spring, but there are a lot of other positives that outweigh the weather, where we can't beat California in that. But the low cost of living and the access to talent and really the ecosystem that is being built here, and the small town feel in a large city is really hard to beat. And so when you're in the tech sector, you really get to know everyone, and it's a great way to network and really build a great community of people in this area.
And I know there's at least one other coding bootcamp in Pittsburgh, and I'm interested in what will make Tech Elevator stand out amongst that kind of competition.
So Tech Elevator really prides itself on a number of things. One is the fact that we spend a lot of time, and we have a full-time staff member that's focused on what we call the Pathway program. Well, let me back up. Our instructors are full-time. We will have 3 full-time instructors in Pittsburgh, and they come straight out of industry. We average around 20 years of experience for all of our instructors across all 4 of our campuses. And they have really been coding right up until the day they come to teach at Tech Elevator. And so their real world experience is really invaluable to our students, to have an understanding of what they will be doing day to day, and to learn from people who have such a wealth of experience. Secondly, our Pathway program, as I started to say a second ago, we'll have a full-time Pathway director here in Pittsburgh, and that person will walk our students through a series of events and practice interviews and opportunities to meet with companies throughout those 14 weeks. So in fact, many of the students that I interview for as possible students in our program talk about the Pathway program. If you think of it as a 2-headed coin, one side of that coin is the technical training that they're going to receive from our instructors, and the instructors are going to polish up that side of the coin. Some will need a lot of help on the technical side and the training, and they might be newer to Java or .NET, and so they need a lot of help polishing that side of the coin. Our Pathway program, which involves access to the tech sector around town, access to employers, practice interviews, resume writing, LinkedIn, polishing up their LinkedIn. That's the other side of that coin. And so we spend a lot of time, often one-on-one with these students, preparing them and making sure they're career ready. So when they leave Tech Elevator, they're code ready and they're career ready. And so we really pride ourselves in, we were just named the #1 boot camp of the country for job placement at 89%, and we intend to exceed that over these next coming months and years as well. It's because people come to Tech Elevator with many different backgrounds and many different reasons, and they use Tech Elevator as that bridge to get to that new season of life. They might have hit a roadblock in their first career. They might have hit a roadblock or never really got started after college or after any type of technical training or any type of training right after high school, they hit that roadblock and they say, now what do I do? Tech Elevator is that now what? It's that bridge to help them get to that second career or third career in many cases. And they really use us to really land in a job very quickly after graduation.
And when are you actually planning to open the campus? When does the first class start?
Our first class starts May 29th with Java.
Awesome. That's so exciting.
Yeah, we're excited.
And then what neighborhood in Pittsburgh is the campus going to be in, and why did you choose that area?
So we'll be on the north side of Pittsburgh, specifically the Manchester section of the north side. Why we chose it, we looked at a lot of different office spaces around town, and we found a great building called the House of Metal. Has a lot of character. It's easy to get to, things like free parking and easy access, and it's very close to, there's a lot of really exciting things happening in tech on the north side. In fact, our temporary offices are in kind of the hub of that, in that sector of town right now. But we'll move just a mile from here up the street. And so we wanted to stay close to downtown, and we want to be in the urban center and close to everything happening. And that allows employers easy access, allows our students easy access to get to the campuses and really be part of the tech community.
That sounds awesome. And what's the actual classroom like?
Well, we'll have our own space. We'll have 2 classrooms. We'll have a big kitchen area, a big common area for students to sit and chat and meet with employers and meet with staff. Instructors will have an instruction room with lots of whiteboards. And so we really try to create a great environment for students to learn, but also to have those collision moments where they can meet with other students and meet with employers and meet with instructors. So we put a lot of time and a lot of thought into making sure the space is very accommodating to our students and their learning styles.
And I'm not sure how much time you've spent at the other Tech Elevator campuses, but I'm wondering how kind of similar or different this campus is going to be from those ones.
It'll actually be very similar. All of our campuses, Cleveland is really kind of the flagship. It's where our corporate office is. It's where all the support team and the executive team resides. And so we're using that as kind of a model to really make the Pittsburgh campus and other campuses really stand out from a design standpoint. We spend a lot of time in design and working with our landlord and team to make sure that it's a modern, a very modern looking space and tech-esque, if you will, if you think of, different office spaces at tech companies, and open concept and modern looking furniture and great bright colors. And I think we even have some pallet wood on the wall somewhere, so which is very in vogue right now. So it'll look really great.
It sounds awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see some photos. And you were mentioning before that you're going to have 3 full-time instructors. Is that your whole education team, or will you have any kind of mentors or kind of teacher assistants as well?
So our model is designed to be a 1-to-12 instructor ratio, student to instructor ratio, 1-to-12. And so when we are at full capacity, we'll have 36 students every 14 weeks. And so that allows us to have two lead teaching instructors and then a third instructor to work with both classes to grade and do one-on-one mentoring. And we bring in employers act as our mentors as well. So we're really trying to engage our employer network to volunteer and work with our students throughout the cohort as well. But our 3 instructors are our primary teaching team.
So you've got the capacity for 36 students, but how many students are you expecting in your first cohort?
First cohort will have 14.
Nice. Is there like a reason for that amount, just while you try it out?
Like anything, we want to make sure we do it right the first time, and to jump up to 36 the first cohort it would not be wise. And so 14 we have found in the other markets is a good number that allows us to for the students to get a great experience the first time, and our instructors and everyone kind of going through this locally for the first time. Of course, we have lots of experience coming in from Cleveland and Columbus and Cincinnati, and they support every new campus really well. So locally, though, it's really good to get our feet wet with a slightly smaller number, but we expect to increase those every cohort.
Awesome. And I know that at the other Tech Elevator boot camps, students can choose between the Java or the .NET curriculum. And I'm wondering, are you going to be teaching both of those curriculums in Pittsburgh?
Yes, we are. So in the fall of 2018, we'll have Java and .NET. We're only launching with Java, and then we'll launch with our second cohort will have both.
That's awesome. And will the curriculum you're teaching be identical to the curriculums taught at the other campuses, or will you be kind of adding anything special that's needed for the particular Pittsburgh tech market?
For the first cohort, it will be identical to the other markets. And then in between every cohort, the instructors from all of the campuses work with our chief academic officer, David Wintrick in Cleveland, to give feedback. And we try to hear from our employers and really make sure that we're making tweaks as needed to the curriculum to make sure that it is where it needs to be and very employer driven. And so it never stays stagnant, but the first cohort for us, the curriculum will be just like the other campuses.
And so we already talked a little bit about the sort of tech companies that are in Pittsburgh, but I'm interested in what types of companies are actually looking to hire junior developers like the ones that will be graduating from Tech Elevator.
So already we have seen a huge demand for junior developers. Companies like FedEx and PNC Bank and defense contractors and consulting firms in healthcare. The demand is really already there, and it really justifies our decision to come to Pittsburgh because the employers, in fact, two of our Pittsburgh employers are already going to other markets and hiring Cleveland and Columbus and Cincinnati graduates because they couldn't wait until August 31st when we graduate, which really is a good sign, that the demand is already there. I wish we had graduates today. Some of our campuses are graduating next week, and I wish we were, so that we could fulfill that demand because it's truly there.
That's fantastic. That's so cool. And I'm interested, with your background working in, workforce and talent needs and things like that, how will you personally be able to help grads with networking and finding jobs when they graduate?
Yeah, as campus director, I'll spend a lot of time in the community talking with employers about Tech Elevator, selling our model, selling our curriculum, and getting them to go through our pathway program and work with our pathway director, to come in as mentors, to come in as volunteers, to speak on panel discussions, to interview our students through mock interviews. And ultimately, we have a matchmaking event that takes place towards the end of the 14 weeks. And it'll be 2 days this summer in the August timeframe we will invite employers in to actually interview our students. And so my role is really that community-facing, outward-facing person to ensure that we have a great, healthy employer network so that our employers get those jobs.
That's wonderful. And for complete beginners in Pittsburgh who are interested in kind of getting a taste of coding or learning about coding boot camps in Pittsburgh, what kind of meetups or events would you recommend? Yeah,
we're doing a monthly Learn to Code event. We just had one in April. The date for May will be coming out very soon, but you can pretty much find us on Eventbrite and check out the monthly meetups for Learn to Code. And we also have at least 2 to 3 open houses per month. So if they're really interested in learning about coding bootcamp, they can come to one of our open houses. Our website, techelevator.com, is loaded with information as well.
Well, that's pretty much all of my questions now. Did you have anything else you wanted to add or you feel we've missed about the Pittsburgh campus?
No, I mean, I would just reiterate, that Pittsburgh is a really exciting time to be in Pittsburgh right now. Pittsburgh is going through, as I mentioned, a really, some would say, a third renaissance in tech and robotics and software and artificial intelligence and driving cars. We're kind of at the epicenter, and I really do feel like it's just beginning. When I started in the tech sector back in 2002, the conversation was much, much different. To see the evolution of the tech sector in Pittsburgh now over almost 15 years, that it's just staggering. to see what is going on and all the different companies, and every different part of town is really being affected by this in a positive way. And so Tech Elevator is just really excited to be part of it and be able to fulfill the needs of the workforce in the community, and produce students and train them in a way that they can not only land their first job after Tech Elevator, but hopefully set them up for a career of multiple jobs with multiple Pittsburgh companies. So we're real excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Justin. It was great to chat with you about the Pittsburgh campus, and all the best for the opening in a month or so. Hope it all goes really well.
All right. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.